What's up, Facebook Fortnite group? Velo here, and you guys were talking about Zone Wars today in the group, so I figured I'd make a video, or at least I told you I'd make a video, going over some tips and techniques to help your performance, specifically winning a game, or at least winning a round. Let's start with winning a round. But first, you have to look at what Zone Wars is, right? And for me, Zone Wars is an opportunity to practice skills and techniques that you have developed in creative, right? That you have worked on, whether those are building, editing, box fighting, rotating, things like that. It's just a good opportunity for that. For me, Zone Wars is practice. It's your chance to get a lot of repetitions. It's your chance to get into a lot of gunfights. And whereas in a normal game, you might just run into a handful of people and get into one or two gunfights. In this case, you can consistently get into a lot of gunfights frequently. Now, let's talk about maps. For those of you that are just looking to get your round win, get your skateboard and be done with it, Desert is probably going to be one of the easier maps to choose, or Coliseum, whereas like Downhill River or Vortex, the zone moves very fast, and unless you have ultimate height, it's pretty difficult to rotate at those final zones. Right, so these maps, I feel like the zone rotates a lot more gradual. It's a lot easier. So if you're looking to get a win, then Desert or what was the other one? Coliseum are probably going to be your best choices. Now, first thing I want to point out is that there's 16 players, right? There's very few situations in Fortnite that you're fighting 16 players right off the rip. So the longer you can stay alive, and this might go without saying, I'm just trying to stay safe here for a second. While I talk, the longer you can stay alive, the fewer people you're going to have to fight. But the first thing you have to know is, where is that zone moving? And I can see it's moving this direction away from me. Oh, hey. But I want to go ahead and move this direction so that I can get to zone. And there's a few different ways to do this. You can hit some of the launch pads that are over there. You can run and hope you don't get shot at, which I'm doing right now. Nice shot. What did he just hit me with? Auto sniper. And once you're here, you want to try to get, to a position of power, but more a position of safety. And in this case, I'm positioning myself so that I'm safe. I don't have any heals. And this guy wants some smoke. This guy wants to fight. I don't want to fight right now if I'm playing passive. All right, I want to defend, and I want to stay alive so that there's fewer people to play against. Now, I guess he didn't want to fight. He just wanted height. But now you can see, let's see, 2 people have died. So now there's only, well, some people have quit. But there's far fewer people to contend with, right? It's going to be a lot easier when you're fighting 6 people or 5 people versus fighting 16 people. Now, I sometimes want to look around and just see if there's any opportunities to put some shots on people, soften them up, or get a kill. That also goes with stay in the game, right? If you want to get a round win, the longer you stay in the game, round 3, 4, and 5, people quit. People get frustrated. They leave. You can already see, we started with 16, and now we have 12 or 13 players, something like that. So here's an opportunity, right? I could have put some shots into that guy. Someone's looking at me also. But now I have to be aware of where the zone's moving, right? So we want to get there, but you have to do it so that you're not going to get lit up the whole time. So this comes, your edit practice, knowing where players are. That's going to help. We don't have to get very far in Zone Wars, but we do have to get underneath this guy. Luckily, they're fighting over there. So I need to keep this side of me protected with the exception of that guy. Right? So I'm going to move and keep this side protected. I don't need to make enemies. I probably shouldn't have shot that guy. Get into zone, box. I took some damage. I'm not quite in the zone. I'm going to extend this out. And if you guys don't know how to do this, it's a good thing to practice how to extend a box. All I'm doing is editing, building a floor. Now I'm in another box in the zone. Making it out of metal. It's a little bit stronger. And now there's fewer players to contend with. Like, I do not have the best loadout. I don't have the best health. But, like, there's an opportunity right there. I could have shot at that guy. But you have to determine what style of play you are. If you're just trying to get the round win, you don't have maybe the skills to get in these big build fights and battle with people at height, you know, being more passive, or being what I like to call opportunistic, being selective, is going to be your MO, right? So I'm in zone. This guy's here. These are all my walls now. Every wall is mine. That's important. So he can't just edit in on me right now. All these walls are mine. The floor is mine. The roof is mine. Okay, so I can edit if I wanted to fight, but he can't just quickly edit me without breaking my wall. But now look at, now there are 4 players remaining. So you've increased your chances at this point of getting the win. We have another rotation. We can see that, here's a cheeky little way to look through your roofs. You can see that there's people at height. This zone's going to start rotating here pretty quickly, right? So I need to move this direction. This is a good chance to pick up some shots, but it sounds like everyone's at height. Now I have enough mats to keep a roof over me. Good time to practice tunneling. I did not mean to shoot. Alright, so this is where we get into box fighting. This is something that you guys can work on. Yeah, so he got the win there. I came in second. That was the last guy. But I put a lot of shots into him. He took a lot of damage. So I increased my odds of getting the round win by staying alive and playing passive. Now, you have to figure out what, like I said, what your style of play is. If you're a super aggressive player, you probably don't need this video. I consider myself an opportunistic player. I play safe, but I like to put shots on people. I like to get into fights. It really just depends on what I'm working on that day. And like I said, I look at Zone Wars as practice. But if you're just, like I said, if you're trying to get that, I don't know why we're frozen here. If you're just trying to get that one round win, then the style of play that I just did is probably going to be the highest opportunity, the most highest percentage chance for you. I don't know what's going on here. Did everyone leave? All right, so it just kicked us out, but we're going to go back into the game, see if there's any other examples that I can give you. Maybe we'll get a different map, hopefully Coliseum or Desert. Like I said, if you're trying to get that round win, but these are the keys. Without sounding ridiculous, stay alive. What I don't mean like obviously you have to be the last person, right? But do not get into gunfights early, or try not to make enemies early, or try not to be a target early, so that there's fewer people to contend with. If you go out and you rip 390s right out of your base, you are now a target. People see you all around the map, and you are going to be all right. So this is probably a bad example because the way the zone works, but I'm going to go show you that as well. How fast the zone moves in Vortex if you guys haven't played it. But we can still use a lot of the same concepts and techniques in Vortex. Just know that playing low on Vortex is very difficult. It's easy early because not a lot of people are there. Or it's easier, I should say. It's not a lot of people are there. But once that zone starts moving and it moves really, really fast, that's going to be really challenging to get up to height and not take a ton of storm damage. So... But on the flip side, you can get height sometimes and win without even shooting at somebody if they die in the storm. So here we go, starting up. Well, it looks like we only have 14 players. Going back to that point that I made, staying in the game. People will leave. You'll notice very rarely are you at round 4 with 16 players, right? So if you stay in the game, depending on the map, you might find that round 4 you're only dealing with 6 players, okay? Again, increasing your odds. I don't like building with wood here, but nobody's going to be on my back. The zone's moving this way. We want to start moving and not being a target. Now that guy is coming up here. We're going to have to contend with him. I am going to get shots. See how I'm not immediately fighting that guy? Oh my god. And that's just because I'm not trying to make enemies. And sometimes just running like this, you know, you get lucky, nobody fights with you. But I am going to try to box up here, make these all my walls. Take a slurp juice. Actually, I should take that 50. Okay, that's wrong edit. Take this 50. I'll keep my slurps. I might need those if we get into some storm damage. But right now, I really want to make sure that all these are my walls, my floors, my everything. All right, so this guy's going to get some smoke. All right, this guy's not bad. Thank you. Somebody cleaned him up. He didn't see me. So, see there, I didn't make an enemy. Like, I got a little lucky that that guy came and cleaned him up, but that goes back to the sheer number of people that are in the game. We have to move quite a bit, right? So we want to be aware of that and be on top of it. This is an opportunity to get some shots and get some kills while people rotate, like right here, right? But that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to not make enemies, and that was a bad example of not making enemies. We want to get to zone. And we're kind of going back to where we were. Let's not hit the electric trap again. And this is what I meant. If you don't have height, it's really hard to rotate through everyone's builds unless you're rotating right back through your own builds. So in this case, we're going right back to where we were. Guy above me. So I know at least some of these builds are mine, so I can get down. But again, playing low ground in this situation, these aren't my builds. This gets challenging. I'm going to just have to break through some of this stuff. Box them out. Talking about that zone again. And although... Oh, that's a weird edit. Alright. And watch how fast this zone starts moving here. And I have to get up. I'm in trouble. I do have a launch pad. So I might try to get height here. Okay. I might die. That was a weird situation. I don't have any more slurps. So see how fast this zone... I can't even let it hit me anymore. Trying to figure out where this guy is. And this is an example why not to maybe play Vortex if you're just trying to play low ground. But somehow I'm still alive. I do not have the health to play in this situation. Alright, so I got the round win. I probably shouldn't have. He missed some shots. I missed some shots. But Vortex is not the map for that style of play. In this case, you probably want to try to get to height early and keep height if you're going to be playing on this map. So let's go ahead and leave this. But you can already see, let's see, now we have 4, 8, what is that? 4, 8, 9, 10. 10 players versus 16, right? So your chances are better. And this might be a situation where you want to work on your height, on your high ground, right? Like you can already see people launch padding and trying to get up on the map. And if I want to play a little bit more aggressive, I can. Opportunistic, right? That's my style. And now we have height, I think. I box that guy in. It's my wall. So I kind of messed up my edits there, but I definitely put a lot of damage into that guy. So he had 50 health, because you do get siphoned. He had 50 health. It's not bad. But that's not the style of play if you're just trying to get that round win. I think we went over that. But look at, if you can look at Zone Wars more as a place for you to practice, I think you're going to get more out of it. But like I said, addressing the question, how do I get a win in Zone Wars? That's probably the easiest route. Doing it in Coliseum or Desert for sure. So hopefully this was helpful. You guys have a good day.